Is Ippo even retired? I mean, yes, he said I'm retiring, but why is this dude beating up world champions and #1 ranked boxers left and right? He broke Volk's rib before his world title defense, and he had an insane brawl with Mashiba before his fight with Rosario. He's basically behaving like an active top-ranked boxer. If we didn't know any better, we'd think he's fighting for the belt next. But what's even crazier is his training. Let's look at his most recent training arc. Right before the Rosario fight, Ippo talked to Takamura about a perfect sparring partner for Mashiba. When Takamura told Ippo that he's the perfect candidate to help Mashiba, Ippo said he's not a southpaw. But isn't he though? Takamura asks an important question. When you go crazy with the Dempsey roll, don't you pay attention to your pivot leg? What does it look like? And then Ippo slowly goes through the motions. And then it clicks. Takamura explains that guys like Ippo use whichever leg it's easier to land a punch with. It doesn't matter if it's left or right. He keeps switching anyway. But Ippo still steps in with the left foot first, since he's a natural orthodox. What's the solution here? In the most straightforward manner, Takamura says, just switch over. Figure out what it feels like and you're fine. Exactly what Takamura would say. It's about the feeling of things. Try as many times as you need in order to feel comfortable. The essence of learning anything. And thus, Ippo's southpaw training starts. And I'm not exaggerating, because this dude trains harder in his retirement than Kimura, Aoki and Itabuchi combined. He starts off with some kung fu master training and even eats with his left hand, just to get accustomed to being left-handed. You are truly what you eat, or how you eat. He tries to throw a right jab, but it feels strange. If you've ever boxed, you know that the right jab feels extremely awkward if you're usually orthodox. He does the smart thing and forgets the jab for now. It's better to focus on the footwork first anyway. And then he starts jumping with his right foot first. Night and day he trains his right pivot leg. He hits tires with the hammer at night and even trains on the fishing boat just like the old days. Imagine the insane balance he has to do this sort of movement in the damn ocean. Back to the roots we go, in the park at night. And there they are, the good old bars. Time to step in, Hajime! He does what he did almost 1,500 chapters ago, but this time with his right leg. And it wouldn't be Ippo if he didn't hit his head on one of the bars. But does he quit? No. He runs right back and starts all over again. Then we see him with intense focus back at the river. He is shadowboxing in front of a huge cloud wall, watching over him and anticipating his return like all of us. The cloud looks a little bit like Kamogawa, who's dreaming of Ippo's comeback. And he repeats the whole drill. Right step, right hand, step in, hammer, fail, repeat, eat, repeat, fail, never give up, right back to the start. Look at this panel. He cuts through the bar like a storm, and he gets lower every time. The strength and tension he has in his lower body is absolutely wild to me. Is he satisfied with himself? He looks back and thinks. No, he grazed the bar a little bit. This is not enough. He'll do another. No, another 100. Ippo is truly a perfectionist. Then we see another genius device he set up at the river. The big log represents Mashiba's flicker at the right uppercut, and the peg in the ground is Mashiba's left pivot leg. The mission is to step with his right foot to the outside of that very peg. Bro, just imagine for a second what kind of crazy scientist Ippo is. He does all of this madness even during his retirement. Let's go. He dives in. So far so good. But the moment he steps in, his right foot hits the peg and he stumbles. And look at this. He says southpaw and orthodox are completely different. He reflects on the Guevara fight and notes how that very fact about southpaws made him fall down at the end. He continues. Look how cool it looks when he steps in and hits the sign with low and high combos. He keeps saying like this and this as he throws his combos. He's getting the feel of it exactly like Takamura said. And then he throws a jab hook combo, ducks under and steps in. The foot is finally on the outside. And then the big left hand. Bam bam! It hits the sign flush. It's a complete knockout. Ippo is the Riverbank champion. He's still not happy with the result though. He says there's no way he can do well with such quick preparation. He'll do another 100, no, another 200s. As Ippo, an allegedly retired guy, trains like a world champion, Itagaki the Bum watches him from afar. He knows that his talent doesn't mean shit compared to Ippo's legendary work ethic. Because only when Ippo comes back, the limp sails of the other loser boats will gain the wind to finally travel through the oceans again. Ippo is not retired. He's just preparing for his next fight. Soon.